Alright, so here we are again with our completed parkour animated GIF, and what we want to do is we want to export it and get it onto the internet. So the first thing I want to do is I have a little bit of a hunch that this GIF is going to be slightly too big, so I'm going to crop it. So I'm going to just reduce its size. I'm going to bring it in from the sides a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the crop tool, which is over here in the tool pane. It's the one that's like those two little intersecting rectangles. You can also press C to get the crop tool. You can see how it has a different look to it once it's in the canvas. And I'm just going to click and drag like a little bounding box that I'm going to then use the mouse to change the exact proportions of. And then once I have it set to what I think is going to be right, I'm going to press enter, and it's going to apply it across all of my frames and all of my layers, and I'm going to play and just make sure it doesn't look totally awful. So yeah, it looks like we kept most of the fun stuff while reducing the size of the GIF, probably not insignificantly, which is going to be useful. So, all right, now that we have something that's slightly smaller, let's get it into an actual file format. To have been referring to what we have been working on as a GIF isn't exactly true. It's really just been a Photoshop file up until this point, and now it's going to become a GIF. So the way that we do that is we're going to click on the File menu item, and then we are going to go down here to Save for Web, which makes sense, right? We're going to put our animated GIF on the web, and then we get a whole new video that pops up. So we have, a whole new window that pops up, and then we have a bunch of different things to take care of. So let's start over here on the left up at the top. This preset, you want to make sure that this is set to GIF 128 dithered, and then that will give you a number of settings that are probably pretty good. If you want to futz around with these and see what they do, you can sometimes get some really interesting stuff, especially if you're interested in really kind of lo-fi looking things. Like if you turn lossy really high up, you get these really grainy, awesome looking images, but if you keep it lower, you get something more approaching high quality. Same with web snap. If you turn this up to a high number, you'll get more web safe colors, but colors that are not necessarily pretty or true to the actual video. So we want to just keep convert to sRGB, keep the transparency open, futz around with these if you want to change them. The image size is something that we could probably spend a fair amount of time playing with. I'm going to turn this just to an even 400, and that's going to resize the image itself. You saw in the middle of the screen it changed a little bit, got a little bit smaller. So it's now at 96% of its original size. Keep the quality up by cubic. Here's where we can change our looping options. We do want to keep this at forever, and this is telling us here that it's on frame 12 of 30. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to go over here and see where it says GIF, and then this is the estimated file size. So 1.96 is a little bit big, especially if we're trying to get it on Tumblr. We want to be under 2 megs, but that's not too bad for like Imgur or Reddit, so we're just going to go with it so that we have it. And so now that this looks pretty good, I'm going to save it, and we have our familiar dialog box, and I'm going to save it to the desktop Intro to Digital Arts folder, and I'm going to call this Parkour Guy. I'm going to save it, have a little progress bar, and then that disappears. So now if we go over to Finder, here we have 2 Finder windows. We'll go to the desktop, and then we go to Intro to Digital Arts, and then here is our Parkour Guy. You can see we have a preview there. It looks like it plays. See, it's a little bit bigger than it estimated, 2.1, but if we open it with, let's open it with Chrome. So it looks like it's a little bit fast, so we could go back and change the timing to make the pause between the frames pretty good, but it's also a little funny. It's kind of like a Jack Benny animated GIF. I can imagine Yakety Sax playing underneath this. So now this is just a hop, skip, and a jump from uploading it to Imgur. Say we go to Imgur. We'll sign in. I have an account here. Right. And I'm going to upload images from my computer. I'm going to go to my upload Parkour Guy. There we go, start upload. Oh, Imgur might be having some problems. Well, if Imgur weren't down, that's how you would do that. But you know, could have gone better, I guess. Did my best. So there you go. That is how to export an animated GIF and to attempt to upload it to Imgur if Imgur isn't being a jerk. So there you go. Saving animated GIFs.